Good morning. Welcome to Easy Money. I am CA RUDRAMURTHY, author, trader, and trainer. After a very whopping 100 points rise in Nifty on Friday, markets are just showing continuation of its uptrend. If you see SGX Nifty now, it is showing close to 140-point rise, indicating market to open above the crucial resistance levels around 15,000. We are just 4% away from all-time highs which Nifty had already recorded. But however, Bank Nifty, even if you see on Friday, was underperforming. One has to also keep in mind the move in Bank Nifty which happened in last 2-3 weeks has been outperforming Nifty. Now for last 1 or 2 days, it is definitely consolidating. And if you see also few important news from Asian market today, all Asian markets in the morning are trading in green because of the positive handover which it got from US market. And very important data from US market, if you see the number of job additions and the payroll data which people were watching on Friday definitely came way below expectation. The number came just at 2,66,000 jobs added for the last month, whereas Reuters poll had an expectation of close to 10 lakh jobs getting added, and the real number came just at 2,66,000. Not only this, the previous job data was also revised downwards just to 7,70,000 job instead of 9,16,000 job. Now, what does this all indicate? Very simple. The lower interest rates in America will continue for a longer period. Also, the stimulus, the strength and the monetary policy of current Fed, which is the Central Bank of America, and the easy monetary policy will continue for a longer time. Whenever interest rates are lower, that is very good for risky assets like equity market. And whenever you will have rising interest rate scenario, that is the time when equity markets will start correcting and you will have the bonds, the corporate bonds will start going up. Now, along with these things, you have to also observe the India's forex reserve is going up and it is now standing at $588 billion. Crude oil prices after cyber attack has rised up. Now Brent crude is trading close to $69 per barrel, which is not good to country like India where we consume crude. Also, the COVID-19 impact and the second wave which is now there very furious in India, clearly finance minister says we will not do national whole lockdown. We know how to handle this pandemic, and they also say the economic impact of COVID in the second wave will be far below from the first wave, and if the third wave also comes, it will be far below the second wave. Also, let me tell you very important point. Now all eyes are not on just the COVID number of cases. We have to see how fastly we are able to vaccinate our main population, which is having this chances of rising COVID cases, and how fast we can make people recover to come out of this COVID pandemic. Also, how can we reduce the death rates? These are some things which are very important and scientifically watched by market. And today in chart check, I will be showing you a very important stock, and this stock came out with results on Friday. And if you see the results which this stock came out on Friday, and this is also traded in futures. Let me just give you the stock name first and the chart on your screen. So I am referring to the stock called, let me put it on your screen, and here we go. It is Dabur. If you see the results of this FMCG stock Dabur, definitely results were way below expectation on Friday. What happened on Friday? Dabur, when it announced its results during market hours, the expectation of profit figure or the bottom line was somewhere at around 440 crore. But what really came was only around 378 crore. The results were way below expectation on all fronts. top line, EBITDA, bottom line, everything was below expectation. But then stock, if you watch on technical grounds, yes, there was some amount of correction which the stock saw. And if you see here very clearly that yes, the stock had some amount of fall, and see the volumes on that particular front, definitely it is on the rise. Now I want you to also follow very important point here. See the amount of resistance the stock will now see, and see the trend also in the stock. So if you see this very clearly, this stock will find resistance at these crucial zones of around 545 to 550. So let me highlight those levels to you. So the tough resistance for the stock will come to you at around these levels of 545 to 550, and on the downside these levels of 530 to 35 is acting also as a support. If you see here, the stock is definitely on a sideway range in a very tight band. If you see this very tight band, especially I'm talking on spot levels, somewhere at around 530 you have this strong support, and somewhere at around 550 you have this strong resistance. Now what happens in this scenario is, wait for the breakout of this range. That is, let the stock break either this 530 range, or let it break the levels of 545 to 550 resistance. Once this range gets broken, then definitely the move will start on one single direction. Now I was also making this very important point in my Twitter handle, where I give live updates, and the handle is I am Rudramurthy, and also the Twitter handle is given in the description below. Do follow that for live market updates during market hour. Now I want you to teach a very, very important point which we call as positioning. Now what do I mean by positioning? And I want each one of you to get this very, very clear. Look at the price movement of this stock before the result. That means even though result came on Friday, this was the result today. See already what was the positioning of the stock. What do you mean by positioning of stock? That is, before result, already there is some amount of positioning in the stock. People who have any information about result or expectation about result, or you call them as, let us say, I use the word insiders who has information, or you might call them as operators or whatever name it is, or we call them as other time frame participant, we call them as the sharks, we call them as people who have information and power of money. So all this smart money, whatever I say, had already positioned their trades on the short side, because this stock had already seen a correction, and this was the positioning before the results came. Now all these people who are already short will start covering, and support is emerging to this stock. If you see, at levels closer to 520 and levels closer to 500. So now for long term investors, if this stock comes and tests the zones of 500, for you, yes, it might be a portfolio buy. But however, for short term traders, wait for the range breakout of 530 to 550 before you take position. But never forget the previous positioning, which I am underlining here, that is already before result. People have shorted this stock from higher levels of around 580. These people have already taken short position. So next supports are emerging. Once this 530 is gone, you have next supports coming at 520 and 500. So people have to now understand positioning before the move of result is very important, which is a very deep knowledge in technicals. And I'm also telling you, you have to consider how already smart money has reacted before the result, and how positioning has happened before the result. This learning coming to you only because of your commitment and dedication to be part of Easy Money program. And I'm giving you chart analysis of Easy Money, also today's latest information you have seen. And let me give you my Nifty and Bank Nifty views which are there. based on market profile chart. So if I see based on market profile chart, Nifty facing this resistance now at levels closer to 15,000. Once we open gap up, we have to see whether those higher levels which markets are seeing are held, and after first 1 hour range, we have to see whether the first 1 hour range is taken over by market or not, especially for intraday trading. And today, if you see, the whole market is definitely positive, because the next 3 to 6 months later, what will be the economic impact, how market will recover very fast, all this is getting discounted in today's price. I'm sure the chart check, all the latest information about market, crude oil prices, let us say even your forex reserves, whatever is there, the US non-farm payroll data, the Fed Reserve continuing its interest rates at the current level, finance ministry clearly telling we will not look for national level lockdown, all this latest information with start of the chart check of Dabur, also Nifty levels, is definitely something which you have to consider for today's trade. Wishing you all a very happy trading, and coming out with pre and post market reports regularly on Easy Money for you people to have a profitable trade. Signing off, Rudramurthy. See you all in the post market report. Thank you. Have a nice trading day.